Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that
Viewers, once more, we welcome you to Message of Islam, reaching you from Independent Television Benin. Today, inshallah, we want to look at the topic, condemnation of murder in Islam. Condemnation of the crime or the offense of murder in Islam. Inshallah, to take this topic, I have with me in the studio this evening. Close to me on my left is Ustaz Sani Abdul Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me, and assalamu alaikum viewers.
Alhamdulillah. And we also have in the studio this evening Professor Bunyamin Aidi Al-Aji. Professor Bunyamin Aidi. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Viewers at home, peace be unto you all.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, we are looking at this topic, condemnation of murder in Islam. We are looking at any topic as far as Islam is concerned. We are looking at it in line with what submission to the will of God entails, because Islam radically means submission to the will of Almighty Allah. Let me start with you. Ustaz Sani Abdul Hafiz. What is murder? Let's start with the definition.
In the name of Allah, all praise is due to Allah. We ask for Allah's peace and blessings upon our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Murder, simply put, in the definition of Islam, is the taking of the life of another person for no just cause and without having the authority to do so. Taking the life of another person for no just cause and without the authority to do so. We have to put it this way because sometimes there are some kind of penalties that may involve having to take the life of another person. So such is not regarded as murder in Islam. For example, if somebody committed adultery and they have to be stoned to death, you don't call that murder. But stoning the person to death requires authority. So if you say somebody committed adultery and you say because we are Muslims, we cannot see an adulterer, and so we take up arms and lynch the person to death, we have committed murder because we have no authority to do so. So murder is to take the life of another person for no just cause and without authority to do so.
Alhamdulillah. I'm coming to you now, Prof. Now, what is the punishment for murder in Islam? One who has committed the offense of murder.
Of course, the definition of murder as far as Islam is concerned has been given by Malam Abdulafi Sani, in addition to what he just said, before I go to the punishment for murder, the issue of committing adultery, before you can even carry out the punishment, there must be witnesses. Witnesses to say, at least two same men who will not lie. And it's not, adultery is not something that you commit in the presence of anyone. So even when the act had been carried out and the person just came out of the room with a towel or whatever, and it's at that point one of the witnesses see them, you don't have any right to now come out and say you think that is what they went inside to do. So before you even catch the person red-handed or the person's red-handed, it will be very, very difficult. And that is why most times it's left between you and your creator. Now, having said that, the punishment for murder, the moment...
The standard of proof in adultery is more than that.
Yes.
We are required to produce 4 eyewitnesses.
Thank you. 4 eyewitnesses. Yes, thank you. 4 eyewitnesses. Now, the punishment for murder is also that the life of the person that has committed it must be taken. And it will not be taken except the family of the person say, well, no problem. So there are 2 or 3 categories as mentioned in the Quran. The murder could be what the lawyers would call the manslaughter, if it is not intentional, just by mistake. And if it is intentional, someone intentionally takes the life of another person and it's established that the person did that intentionally. Such individual, once it's caught, you take the life of such person as well. So the Islam doesn't play with the life of an individual. Even when you say the life of the fetus, who you want to regard as not a full physical human being, Islam takes care of that. So as much as possible, even the life of animals, Islam takes care of that. Because in Islam doesn't allow you to take the life of an animal without you having any need for such animal. So much as we protect the lives of human beings, we protect the life of every living being.
Thank you very much. We are looking at the topic, condemnation of murder in Islam. In Islam, life is so sacred. It is Almighty Allah who created us and is the owner of all the life. In fact, you do not have the right to take your own life, take your own soul. You commit suicide, you go straight to the hellfire. We have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to all these issues in Islam. If you commit suicide, in Islam, you go to the fire of hell. So Islam has 0 tolerance for the offense of murder. Now, Ustaz Sani Abdulaziz, I'm coming back to you again. Now, in a situation where we have Muslims whose lives are not governed by the Sharia law, which stipulates steep penalties for criminal offenses, what is your take on that?
As it relates to murder, when you don't have
Because we have issue
the
of
Sharia
corruption,
law,
even where you have laws of the land as regards a particular offense.
you know, the general rule, whenever the Sharia authority is not in place, more of a rule of alaykum anfusukum. That is, you are in charge of yourself. In charge of yourself to guard yourself and conduct yourself in a way and manner that you don't commit sins. You don't do whatever Allah has prohibited, including committing murder. It's a complex, scenario for a Muslim to actually live in, because there has to be law in place. There has to be the Sharia in place to bring everybody to book whenever they overstep the boundaries of Allah. But unfortunately, where you live in a place where the Sharia law is not in place, the second question will be, is there any law in place at all? If there is a law in place at all, then the law in place has to be, has to be followed to protect lives as it relates to murder. Nobody has a right to take the life of another person. You know, the Islamic fights, so to say, that you had in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, at some point they have to be brought to a halt. Bringing them to a halt required coming into agreements, coming into some kind of treaties, some kind of terms of peace. Those terms of peace are, you know, terms that all of us are committed to in order to see that we don't spill the blood of one another. So as long as those laws are in place, the Muslim is also binded by this law that you don't take the life of another person. This is actually how the ulama describe a state that has a constitution. Like Nigeria, for example. It has a constitution. The constitution represents the agreement between all parties that form the state called Nigeria. Whether they are traditionalists, they are Muslims, they are atheists, they are Christians, they are Jews, all of us are captured in this constitution. So that we are all binded by the law of respecting one another, protecting the life of one another, ensuring that there is always peace and there is no crisis.
Thank you very much.
Now,
Professor, I will come back to you again. We have some countries that have abolished death penalty. Condemnation of murder in Islam. The penalty for murder in Islam is you will be executed if you are found guilty of murder. What is your view on abolition of death penalty? When Almighty God that created us has made that law that whoever kills and is found guilty should be executed.
You see, there is no way we will not have problems in every society where we try to modify the natural laws that govern us, that govern every society. It's one of the ways through which people modify the natural laws. And wherever you have that, will not be far from crisis. Because, for instance, in Nigeria, assuming we still uphold that, that is, whoever takes the life of another person unjustly, such individuals should also be eliminated. If we abide with it, we'll not be running into series of crises that we have nowadays. We have so many examples of people that were kidnapped before ransoms were paid. Such individuals were eliminated. Even when ransoms have been paid, they still went ahead to kill them. Quite a number of times we have read that certain numbers of kidnappers, bandits, terrorists, or whatever, committing one heinous crime or another, were arrested. Later, we will still hear that they receive amnesty.
But Nigeria did not abolish death penalty.
I'm coming. Now, much as we do not abolish death penalty, how many times have we in this country heard of someone that was condemned in any court of law to murder, and such persons were eventually executed, either publicly or privately in any secret places? We've not heard of that in the past 30 years. And that is why we keep, rigmaroling around a circle. Because right from the time kidnapping started some years back, if we had adopted that, right from the time the Ipso banditry started, the terrorism started, all these forms of criminalities in our society, if we had adopted execution of anyone that was found guilty, after carrying out all the decent investigations and you confirm that this person actually did this, if you execute them, automatically nobody will want to venture into such things. But at the end of the day, you still find them on the street of on the streets of the town. Now, coming back really to other countries where they have abolished that, they try as much as possible to keep such individuals out of circulation. And what they believe is that separating them from the society, not having any contact with anyone, is even worse than killing. You've heard of people that were confided or that are confided life imprisonment. In one room, they only give them maybe 1 hour of refreshment during the day or at night, depending on whatever the person chooses. Keeping the person solitarily in that kind of environment can be worse. And it can be likened to, al-fitna to ashadu min al-qatl. Keeping someone in permanent condition of tribulation may be worse than death sometimes. But whichever one we adopt in the country, as it is today, Nigeria cannot even be said to have adopted anyone. We are just floating, and that is why we have this mirage of crisis within us today.
Our law is very clear. We have the law stipulating death penalty for some offences. Another thing is the enforcement of the laws. I'm coming to you now, Ustaz Sani Abdul Hafiz. Now, is it permissible in Islam to, in the guise of jihad, perpetrate heinous crimes like murder?
No, it's never permitted
What is
in the
jihad?
laws of Islam.
What is jihad?
So,
jihad means killing the innocent?
Jihad is a struggle, by the literal translation. And this struggle can be in any form, which one of the forms is actual fighting. And the way to express it is to say that you are struggling to enforce Allah's law. You are trying to, live the life that Allah says you should live. Obey Allah's law. It's a continuous struggle. You are struggling with yourself. You are struggling with the forces. Then you now have it at a point in time where you have forces that feel that you should not even exist because you are a Muslim, that you shouldn't exist. So this is the point at which the Prophet ﷺ was told that you should fight back.
Is it part of jihad to be involved in banditry and terrorism?
Yeah, you asking the question that what's jihad? That's why we are trying to explain it. It's not. It's not. Banditry is not jihad. Terrorism is not jihad. Whatever other forms of crimes people committing, it's not jihad.
A police officer
Now,
who is fighting against the armed robbers, is he not performing jihad?
He's performing a jihad because he
Tell
is
me
trying
what
to,
jihad is.
is struggling against disturbances to the society,
So whatever you
to
do-
the community. Everything you do to keep the community safe, peaceful, and progressing is a jihad. So it can be in any form. Now, coming back to the point of banditry, I feel actually very disturbed to even want to connect them at all. They are not in the same line. Because banditry is for some economic gain. We can put it that way.
Banditry
because,
is evil.
Yes, it's evil. It's for economic gain. Those who are into it, they know what they are out for. Even in jihad, you don't come to a place where people are just living and then you launch an attack on them because they are not Muslims. No, you don't do that. So when you say that some people are terrorists and then they go to a place of non-Muslim occupants in order to get everybody dead.
Or even Muslim occupants?
Okay, Muslim. No, normally when you want to talk about jihad, you want to talk about the non-Muslim. That's why you can't call it jihad. Because many of the times, Muslims are involved in what your so-called banditry, terrorism, insurgency, kidnapping. Muslims are involved. They pay the ransom. They lose the lives of their relatives. Mosques are destroyed. Worshippers are maimed. So how could you call it jihad? They are not close. They are not the same thing. So it's part of what the society need to be educated about. The Quran talks about jihad, but jihad is not banditry. It's not terrorism. It's not insurgency. It is not kidnapping. It is the Prophet ﷺ fought against Makkans. The Makkans was the home where he was born. He has been expelled from Mecca to Medina. And the people did not only expel him, they took arms to go face him in Medina to say, this man cannot continue to live. Whoever believes in him will be crushed. That was when Allah said,
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. You are allowed to defend yourself, you defend your life. And so it is part of jihad to defend your life. Prophet said one tradition. That if a thief attacks you, you should fight him. And the companion asked, how about if he kills me in the course of the fight? Prophet says, you will go to paradise. He now said, how about if I kill him? Prophet says, if you kill him, he will go to the hellfire. So jihad is from the word jahada, to strive, to struggle. But it has to be a positive struggle. Striving in the cause of God. And God is good. And God is not evil. Saving a life is part of jihad. As a medical doctor, you are called and you left your home at midnight, rushing to the hospital to save the life of that accident victim. That is jihad. Jihad is to struggle, to strive in the cause of God. Nigeria has been declared or was declared as a country of particular concern. And we are also hearing allegations of Christian genocide. What is your take on that?
Well, of course, when you look at the word genocide as applied to what we have in Nigeria, it's not only our Christian brothers, sisters that one can say are the victims of genocide in Nigeria. Because look at the issue of kidnapping, the issue of terrorism, banditry that we mentioned earlier on. All these one cut across various tribes, various religions, even including those that don't proclaim either Christianity or Islam. The victims vary in terms of age, in terms of tribes, in terms of religion. So one cannot really say that it's only the Christians that are involved, except that we are trying to just heat up the polity. And where the danger is the fact that assuming the people we are calling from outside come here to come and assist us fight others, there is no way we will not run into more problems. Because in areas where they had intervened in the past, there is no part of the world where we have had intervention of these persons that we are calling, that they have stable society till today. Talk of Libya, talk of Somalia, talk of Syria, talk of even the Middle East. There is nowhere that is peaceful up to today. Now, if you say they should come, no bomb or bullet is labeled Christians or Muslims. If they drop any bomb anywhere, the devastation will not separate people based on religion or will not destroy people based on religion or tribes. So therefore, what we need to pray for and also strive for is there is a general problem, that there are general problems that we all have. The issue of hunger is there. The issue of mounting anger is there, which is necessitated by the situation we find ourselves in this country. So if someone is hungry, hunger as it is today doesn't differentiate between religions, doesn't differentiate between tribes. We are all hungry, we are all angry the same way. So we should not, based on the fact that certain persons are looking for favors outside the shores of Nigeria, then magnify the problem beyond what we will be able to bear when the consequences come. The consequences may be enormous. This country belongs to every one of us, whether we are Christians or we are Muslims or we are atheists, or we don't even believe in any existence of any God. This country belongs to us all, and we must defend it by our conduct, by our character, and by that band of humanity.
Thank you very
that
much.
all of us are together in this.
Thank you. What is the government expected to do? The duty of government is to protect life and property. Among other
The
duties.
government, among everything they have done, which is striving to see how much they protect life and properties. We can only say that more should be done. More should be done, and just as has been mentioned, that when criminals that are involved in these activities are arrested, they should be promptly dealt with according to the law. And let you know, when Allah mentioned about punishing the adulterer, let some of the people witness their punishment, so that it will be shown that the one who lost a life will know that the person that killed my person has been dealt with.
That will serve as a deterrent to others. Thank you very much, viewers. We have been looking at the topic, condemnation of murder in Islam. Islam has zero tolerance for murder and for all criminal activities. In fact, Islam is very, very strict when it comes to punishment. You steal, your hand is amputated. You commit adultery, you are stoned to death, or you are given 100 strokes of the cane if you commit fornication, if you are not married. You commit murder, you are to be executed. You commit banditry, your hand and feet at alternate sides is to be cut off, and you can be banished from the land. Very severe punishment we have in Islam, the Sharia law. But when you have Muslims whose lives are not governed by the Sharia, then it becomes a matter of concern. Banditry, terrorism is not part of Islam. Jihad means struggle, to strive in the cause of God positively. And we should all try as much as possible to let all hands be on deck to make Nigeria and the world at large a peaceful place, especially as Muslims. Thanks for coming. I've argued Mr. Bunyamin Aide, and thanks for coming, Mr. Sani Abdulhafiz.
Thank you too.
Al-Aji Al-Amin Alao. We have joined us again next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking That's what I said. So when they bullied her, now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something. You have to be
they
smart.
Can't sit
if
down.
you see when they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Urimu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
It's sure always an exciting time to have you join us on the program Heritage with your sincerely Oluije Oikokai. Today on Heritage, we're going to a country that has about 2 million population, and that is Guinea-Bissau. To go see what they have for us today as far as culture and tradition is concerned. So you know what? Come along as we take a trip together to Guinea-Bissau to go see what they have for us on Heritage. Don't go nowhere. The festival in Guinea-Bissau is the popular annual festival in the country, known for its vibrant blend of traditional African culture and influence.
Mastras Kukuzi reina Nono kita kudanza de fula Napidi mas palmo Delta ka palmo Kono kuni nkoroja Salva ji palma Natina presentación Nono kita kudanza de fula Ndeke bono waja manga ziarti Nadanza ji fula Now Fula Mensagem Kunodiri di pega A nós tudo guineense
The event takes place annually in the capital city of Guinea-Bissau during the dry season, typically in the month of February or March, just before Lent. The carnival is a powerful display of national identity and unity, bringing together the nation, many diverse ethnic groups, including the Balanta, Fula, Mangoko, and Bajago people, to celebrate their unique costumes and traditions. The events feature parades along in the major streets, as well as people are seen dancing, drum beat renting the air, and thousands of participants in elaborate, well-dressed and colorful costumes to mark the celebration. The celebration is a fest combining a cheerful African spirit with lively influences of Portuguese and Brazilian cultural traditions.
Albano.
Voglio falar obrigado. Dico non a tenere primeiro grupo que não apresentando tá falando. Olha o co. Olha o co. Olha o co. Olha o menino que mandou. É Katsumai. Que me se mostrando. Netinha Pepe ele tá falando com o ora como aqui. Na cara você fazer o rego. Usada diferente Manova. Se cabeça era diferente de Ambacus. Olha, ela quer moça. O homem tem que ser o regulo. Segundo não tem. Se o quer moça para ser o regulo. Então, consegui ver se não tem simplesmente. Ser o regulo, o bem conseguir a vencer. Não está manifesta aqui a alegria. Regulo pure, que desachola, que cerimônia. Não está mostrando biombo. Regulo de biombo. E morre. Vem tornar a partir da região de biombo. E por bater só na região de biombo, mas a nível de Guiné-Bissau. Cansaré. Popolo, obrigado, Cansaré. Obrigado para representante do desfile nacional de Guiné-Bissau e para tudo que está presente. Gosto não vai ter balobeiros. Balobeiros. Essa é uma cerimônia. Balobeiros, lê. E por ser filho rego, ou filho de alguém sobrinho, da polírio, para ser o rego, ou balobeiro, pecar musa. Que é balobeiro? Lembra como é? Cantaré bajarino. Mas como descobrir? Ele apontei Irã. Irã não respondeu. Não fala barogueiros, obrigado. Barogueiros, obrigado. Você não tem aqui grandes guintes. Então usa só coisas pretas. É guintes que está rolando. E aqueles que estão decidindo. Mas e coisas que também tradicionalmente Irã está chamando. Olha que ele chamou. Que Irã, ele está matando aquele mar, é tudo. Se aquele alguém que vive no Irã, nessa casa. Então a manga de bufunessa se está contra aquele. Então, ele está recolhendo aqui balobeiro para apontar. Então, uma coisa não acontece na casa. O que não passa? Então, o comandante Roneira. Yes, quem te groneira. Eles se futuro balobeiros. Papia, lá que até conseguir poder de ser o balobeiros. Pabeirão que está trabalhando nesse momento. Nós já tem que na roneira. E pabeirão chamar não. E aí, o que ela passa?
Osaida, diga para o monolo. Osaida, papia mandalo. Osaida, diga para o monolo. Osaida. Não, dala kunya. Raja.
Vamos falar obrigado. Obrigado para o Ronaldo Zidane. Se não tem aqui momento de não lembrar. Não lhe lembrei do Copa Sil. O povo vira de filhos, de irmãos, de família risco. Irmãos, se não lembrar. MC Caralho e cantar. Eles que estão puro para não comer. Eles que vão aí na BC, labradores. Para não comer na tabanca, para não farta, para não por ter alegria, força para fazer qualquer coisa. E é que eles que vão olhar assim. Labradores. Não labrar. Para poder parantar, para não poder comer. Vamos te pedir o governo de Guiné-Bissau para apoiar a região de Biombo, Leão do Norte, na laboro, para não poder comer. Depois não tem pescadores também, que não mames. Obrigado. Pescadores também, eles não mames. Eis que está puro para não comer. Fabia, que massa que está para apanhar? Ou que pis que está para apanhar melhor? E ele que está puro não comer. Então, não tem pescadores. Não mais pescadores. É por vir ali na praça de Sal. Não pedi, Ministério de Pesca. Tem apoio a região de Biombo, Leão do Norte, na pesca. Mas não tem bom pires, para não poder comer. Obrigado, pescadores. Considerando não vai para diferente dança para Biombo. E Leão está com todo tipo de carne. Não tem o primeiro. Camarão, não é camarão na metade. Biombo, é que está preguiça que dá. Camarão, ai, esse camarão que está na metade. Muito obrigado, camarão. Muito obrigado, camarão. Não tem mandigas. Olha, a nós de Biombo, Leão, não tem mandigas. Mandiga não vem. Na Biombo, não tem mandiga. Leão. Leão, eles gostam de intimidar. Leão gosta de exibir. E gosta de ter conhecimento. Leão de Biombo. Ou Leão do Norte. Melhor assim. Leão do Norte. Quando ninguém tem que se dar a turbina para ouvir voz ou pode a voz. Muito bem, Leão do Norte. Obrigado, mandigas, obrigado. Tem Leão do Norte, não tem mandiga. Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado, Conselho Novatene. Fula. Fula, muito obrigado, Fula. Fula, Conselho Novatene. Mandiga, obrigado, Fula. Fula na biomba. Fula. Sai. Fula. 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 É sura na região de Biombo. Quando fala Lyon, não fala ser o Lyon. Venho pessoal, habilidade de Lyon. Habilidade de Lyon. Habilidade de Lyon. Habilidade. Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado. Conselho no último tropas que lutam para a independência de Guiné-Bissau. Tropas que lutam para a independência de Guiné-Bissau. Caos do ser povo independente. Tropas que lutam para a independência. Presidente, patrocinadores, presidente, muito obrigado. Dona Garcia também, tamborista, homem conduto, caça presente.
Palmas fortes para a região de Biombo. Gomes. Não para beber como a... Você quer que nota, Cícero? Naquela região, sim. Biombo e Benfica, tudo. Biombo e Benfica. Mas não tem bunda, não crianças de flor de luta. E está na motora, se dança. Fundos Makoya, Jambadon de Mandinga, Mamesi Fanado, Jambadon de Mandinga.
It certainly has been an exciting time today on Heritage. Yes, you learned a lot as far as Guinea-Bissau is concerned. Their heritage, their costume. Now looking at, of course, the way they merge culture together, it certainly has been mind-blowing. So we'll be seeing again next week for another exciting time. To have yourself a blessed day. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best.
the man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about...
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her, now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
Alright guys, it's another lovely Monday evening, and it's my pleasure to have you join me on yet another beautiful episode of the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television, reaching you live from that city of bronze. You know, I love to call it that city where the king is truly king. Now, for starters, the Guys Hangout Show is one show that, you know, teaches men to prioritize themselves and, of course, you know, to be the best that they can be, just so that they can give the best that they can give. It airs on this station every Monday. All right, my name is Harry Aigboje, and of course, it's my pleasure to have you join us on this episode of the show. Now, today, we're going to be taking a look at a very, very important topic, you know, something that actually caught my attention of recent. Okay, you know, sometimes you're just going about your daily activities, and then you just, you know, for a second, certain things just cross your mind, and you begin to ask yourself, what has actually changed? What has gone wrong? How come things are no longer the way they used to be? And one of such things is the growing lack of parental discipline in our society as we have it today. What exactly went wrong? Whether you like it or not, you must have noticed that things are no longer the way they used to be, especially between parents and their kids. Those days when we were growing up, some of us had this reverence for our parents, right? Even in their absence. There were things we're not bold enough to do, we're not courageous enough to do, even in their absence, because of, you know, the kind of discipline that they gave us, right? So, for instance, I remember as a kid, I used to live within my boundaries as a child, right? I was not allowed to go to the next compound. Now, that was how I was raised. Not because my parents didn't like me, like us being free, but they just wanted to ensure that, you know, we lived within the boundaries that they set for us. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there can also relate. Now, if you take a look at the parents of today, it doesn't seem to be like that anymore, right? A lot of parents seem to be more flexible in raising their children. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? My name is Harry Aigboje once again, and it's my pleasure to have you join us on this episode of the show. Now, like you already know, I'm not alone. I've got an amazing person in the house with me, and together we're going to be taking a look at this topic. Now, he is an educationist and also, you know, a social analyst. He's really passionate about lots of things that are happening around us, and he loves to share his wealth of wisdom and experience on such matters. It's good to have you, Abu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harry. And as usual, it is good to be on the show today again. It is always a pleasure talking about issues that concerns us in society, especially issues like this, where if we keep quiet, things will get deteriorated and it will get out of hand.
True.
So there are no bad things tried because good men decide to keep quiet.
Absolutely.
So we must say something.
Definitely, we must say something, and that's basically why we're here. I mean, we really can't help not to say something, all right? Now, we're going to be taking a look at this issue as we begin to look at it one after the other, right?
Okay.
Let's look at it from this angle. Parenting is serious business, right? And I don't think a lot of parents realize that, a lot of parents of this generation, because there seems to be this trend of people just giving birth without recourse to the responsibility of taking care of those children. So let's start from there. why would anybody want to, start having kids without, considering what it will take and what it will cost, to take care of those children?
Yeah, procreation is one biological gift that God and nature has given to humans. So anybody can, any adult who has gotten to a certain stage can procreate, except he or she has a medical condition. But procreation is not a yardstick to be called a parent. So we have so many fathers and mothers who are not parents. Being a parent means you are ready for the job after birth. Birthing a child is your God-given talent or God-given gift.
Your natural ability.
That natural ability. But the idea of training this child, parenting, is a full-time job. I say full-time job because it's one thing that people just overlook, and because of that they think because they are fathers they could be called parents. No. We have so many fathers but few parents. So it's because of these few parents that we have in society that you see there is a growing lack of discipline in terms of parenting and all that. So I think the few parents that we have, if you see their children outside, you can distinguish them from those that have fathers and just mothers. So I think we should be seeing this thing from the idea of who are parents, to be precise. A parent is that person who is a father or a mother and has indulged herself into the act of bringing up this child. Children, the mind of a child is like a tabula rasa. Whatever you imprint on that mind is what goes a long way to determine what the child will become in life or how the child will behave and all that. But we really have people imprinting these things on the mind of the child. That is the question.
I think that's $1 million question, because this is one question I believe a lot of parents do not ask themselves before they begin to procreate. Like you've rightly established, there's a clear difference between procreation
there is.
And parenting. And I think that's what we need to begin to establish. What exactly is it with parents of nowadays? Just like I said in opening, when we were growing up, it was a different ball game, right? We were raised with a very high level of discipline. So much so that parents of this generation will probably see that as you being too hard on your child. Now, what's the place of discipline in parenting? Let's begin.
There are different factors that I think I will tie to this lack of parental discipline. Number one, the infiltration of Western culture into our traditional belief and norms. Secondly, we also have this idea of laziness on the part of some people who call themselves, I use the word who call themselves parents, laziness on their part. And thirdly, there is this idea of the growing new normal, where people advocate that children should be treated with, like adults, they should be treated with kids and gloves and all that, so that you not hurt them, and so after all they are human beings. But let me start with this infiltration of Western culture into our traditional culture. Now you see, the white men asked us at the time to marry a fellow man, a woman marry a fellow woman. Many of us did not dispute it. Some African countries are already doing that. They also asked us to wear the suit, the sleeve, the waistcoat, the tie and all that, despite our hot weather. Many of us did not also dispute that fact. And we are doing it. But very recently, they are also asking us to treat a child as an adult. And so many parents have started, many fathers and mothers have started treating their children as adults. That's the problem. They want to train them in the Western way. They want their children to see themselves as adults. They are rushing them through that childhood. They don't want them to enjoy that childhood. They don't want them to see themselves as children. That state of innocence is no longer there. A child that just here, you call that child that you want to reason the child like an adult. What is reasoning
capacity in the first place?
My brother, what is the rationale behind you sitting a child down to say, let's discuss? You are just 4 now. And who told you that a 4-year-old is thinking like an adult already? It's not. I know many will say this is a computer age and jet. Leave that computer age and jet. Children are children. And most of how were we brought up? We were told that if you misbehave, I will flog you. I have so many parents in my area. My father was not just my father. Yes, he was my biological father, but I have so many fathers. Before my father even come back from his workplace, someone else have disciplined you if you misbehave and all that. Do we still have such in our society? No. You see, everybody wants to say my family.
So you're saying that in those days there was a communal mindset?
A communal mindset. All parents were parents, and all children were children to all parents. Now, these days, you see families saying, you don't touch my child, I know how to discipline my child, you leave this child for me to discipline and all that. So that's why we're getting children that are going haywire. Some of them are even going gaga. You know, some of the hairstyle that a 10-year, 11-year-old will put on, you begin to wonder, is this one coming from a home? You see some young girls out there, 11, 10, some of the things they will wear, like, does this one even have fathers and mothers at home? So the issue now is we are drinking too much from this cup of Western wine. I think we should come back home. We should come back to this African tradition. We are Africans. And in Africa, there is discipline intrinsically buried in our totemic mindset. It is on our subconscious. That discipline should be resurrected. That parents should see themselves as not just parents, but as role models, as disciplinarians. Correct these children when need be. Don't reason with a child. It gets to a certain stage, you reason with him, not at this stage. It is some of those things that you imprint on him when he was still a child that will model him into a very good adult. A good child definitely will become a good adult.
Absolutely.
Now, when you lead them, you think they can think of themselves. What you fail to tell them, their friends out there will tell them. And that is what we should avoid. So that idea of Western culture, I think we should come back home. Beside that, sir, this idea of laziness on the part of parents. They think now that you already have a child. So if you can provide for this child, you are performing the work of a parent already. The provision we are talking about here is not just finance. Many of them thought it's just finance. He's attending a very good school, I can provide. If he wants to buy anything, I can give him more. No. Emotionally, psychologically, this child needs you. Morally, you should be there for him. Who are his friends? Do you even know his friends? What are his routine? How does this child carry out his daily activity? You should be your child's best friend. You should have a roundtable talk most times with him. You should be able to tell him, if you try that, I will flog a lot of you and he will not try it. Don't let him see himself like an adult already. You hardly even see children these days bathing outside. And someone said it's civilization. I think they know too much.
Okay.
Their parents make them know too much.
So why they've gone past the phase of innocence.
You see that state of innocence? It has been killed. Every child now, the parents have been able to inculcate in them that they are no longer children, but they are now what? Adults. And there is no way a child can behave like an adult. He will be an adult in a wrong form. So let these children grow. Correct them. Discipline them. Be a disciplinarian. You don't rub men with a child of 5.
Okay. Now, you've actually said a lot. Now, talking about the infiltration of Western culture, just recently I saw a video on Facebook of this American comedian, veteran comedian, Steve Harvey, he was actually interviewing a kid, a 5-6-year-old girl. So he was asking her why she liked her brother, or why she loved her brother. And she was saying, well, she loves her brother because, her big brother, of course, because he's always there to protect her and to comfort her when, her parents whooped her. And then, of course, the crowd, reacted in laughter and all of that. Now, I went through the comments as usual, and I saw a lot of persons asking questions, and a lot of people, complaining that it was totally out of place for the parents to, whoop her or to discipline her. And, of course, it became a debate as usual. Now, that pretty much reminds me of something. The fact that this is also becoming a major issue in this part of the world, whether or not to discipline a child. Because some people see the use of corporal punishment as a sign of hatred for the child. That how can you, use corporal punishment for a child that you love? So they see it as, you doing too much. They believe you shouldn't use corporal punishment on your child, that there are other ways. Just like you said, some of them believe you can reason with your child. But how do you reason with a child whose mind is not even matured enough to, look at things from that perspective? I think what we have is actually a problem, because people want to mistake smartness, intellectual exposure to maturity.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem. I would like you to speak in that regard.
You see, words get their meaning from their context.
Okay.
What they call maltreatment in a particular context, in another context might be called discipline.
So
when that person say you are hitting that child too hard, you're beating this child and all that. But I think in the right context, when it comes to my child or any other child, or any other child around me, you should use that right word, discipline. We were once children, sir. They did not kill us.
Of course not.
We are what we are today because of how our parents decided to straighten our life. at least our parents are not beasts. They know what they are doing. You don't expect a mother who gave birth to a child to kill that child with her own ends, except she's maniacally derailed and all that. Yeah. When children are being disciplined with love, you can discipline a child with love. There is no need you bringing in ideas of you are abusing the child rights and all that. He is a child, for God's sake. The reason why you are saying I am abusing his right because you want to protect that child. The reason why I even discipline that child is to protect the child also. Now, this is what the government are fighting against, is that you should not abuse, assault a child. Discipline gets to an extent, becomes an assault.
So that's where we need to draw the line now. At what point does discipline become an assault?
When you begin to inflict serious pains,
bodily harm
on this child, it is not an assault.
Okay.
When you are not correcting the child with love, it becomes an assault. When you are doing it with hatred, it becomes an assault. When you forget the fact that this person is still a child, it becomes an assault. But when you are doing it in the circumstances of these things I'm saying, like he's a child, I want to correct him with love, he's my child, and all that, that is discipline. And we should not rule out discipline because some persons are misusing it. I know I am not in line with so many parents or guardians who have decided to inflate pains on children because you want them to listen. No, that is beyond discipline. Okay. That is now an assault. That is now an hatred. That is now a corporal punishment. And if I ask my child to kneel down there, for example, or get a cane and give my child 2 or 3 strokes of the cane for doing something wrong, next time he will not try it. But if you now give a punishment that is more than that child to that child, then it becomes an assault.
An assault, okay.
You're asking a child, for example, you get pepper, rub on the child's body, or give the person some scars, marks, and all that. No, that is wicked and that is evil. But you're asking the child to kneel down there, or get a cane, flog this child 5 times or more, as the case may be, and after all this, call the child, next time, don't try it. I am your father, I love you, and that's why I'm doing this. I hope you will not try it next time. Such a child will not try it. But you're not letting the child know the reason why you have flogged him or disciplined him and all that. It is hatred.
Hatred.
So we should draw the line between discipline and hatred. So I am not advocating for that idea of that battering, that corporal punishment. Yeah. I am saying we should not rule out the fact that these children are still children. And children have a mindset that is as clean as a tabula rasa. So we have to imprint something that they will take up into becoming a very good adult.
I guess that's why the Holy Book says that you should train up your child in the way he should go, that when he is old, he will not depart from it. All right, guys, it's still the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television. Just in case you're just joining us, we're talking about the decline in discipline, parental discipline. What has gone wrong? What exactly is the problem? Why is it that, kids are no longer as disciplined as before? Why is it that kids nowadays can just do whatever they want without, their parents or a parental figure, putting them in check? Now, Abu, just a moment ago, you were talking about the difference between correcting in love and correcting, in hatred, right? Yeah. Now, it's no longer uncommon to see children just walking past an adult without greeting. And that was actually one of the things that we were taught as, children. And that was exactly one of those values that we grew up with. Yeah. Which is why we cannot see someone who's older than us now
and not greet.
Don't you think that's also a function of this lack of discipline?
The dysfunctionality of the society. That's one of the factor, one of the things we got from the dysfunctionality in the society. Why did I say so? I just told you not quite long that all parents were parents to all children. An elder can call you back and say, so you don't know how to greet. Where are you from? You say, I'm sorry, sir. Good morning, sir. Or in my dialect, you greet according to your family lineage, and you must do that. That's how we grew up. But these days, many parents have restricted themselves from doing that. Before someone else will come somewhere and say, don't talk to my child, it's my child, I know how to train my child and all that. So that communal nature is no longer there. And you can see, that is just a microcosm of the larger one. You could see, apart from this idea of greeting, you could see children, they hardly even get up from the seat for an elder to sit, if that's the only seat.
That's another dimension to it.
Now you see some of them, they are very disrespectful. They have begun to euphemize what we call disrespect. You see some of them will say savage reply. What you might want to call obscenity,
I think that's one of the effects of
stupidity, social media.
Yeah.
You see some of them will say, there's a new one now, we listen, we don't judge.
That's not how we go.
They are indirectly promoting children to go haywire.
Go wild.
They are promoting this idea of you can always do whatever you want to do. And they are promoting immorality.
And the question we should even be asking is, what do we call judge in this context? Judging is discipline. The discipline we're talking about.
It is a discipline they want to eradicate.
When a child does something wrong, you're supposed to discipline that child.
So you say
but to children of this generation,
you listen, you don't judge. I mean, you say you listen, you don't judge. Besides that, sir, you see, when these children were growing up, they were given this orientation that I am your father, I am your mother, I am the only person, I should be the only person that has the moral right to discipline you. And that's bad. Let these children know that all parents in this vicinity are your parents.
Even adults.
Even adults.
Not
they
necessarily
have the right
parents.
to discipline you in my absence. When I was growing up, something happened. I went home to tell my father that a teacher has flogged me in school. He said, okay, the next morning we'll go. He followed me to school. And when we got there, he took the cane himself and flogged me again right in front of the teacher. These were adults in unity. Adults having a meeting over me that I don't even know about. Their primary aim then was, this child must not go wayward. Now that I am an adult, I used to think like, okay, could it be the reason why my dad have to flog me again? You know, that sends a message. The message was, you are safe in his hands and don't misbehave because I'm your father. I will flog you again. But these days, we've seen parents that will follow their children to school and start constituting nuisance. Some of them will not even ask. You'll be telling your child right from the home that your teacher will die today. You are giving that child an impression that he or she can disrespect
an elder and
get away with it. I'm your mother, I will always fight for you. You are creating a small problem that will blossom into a bigger one in society tomorrow. A child you couldn't discipline today will end up in prison. And they'll start crying. Discipline your child. Teach these children societal value. The values, one of the values that will hold tenaciously to in Africa is respect. They should be respectful. Leave this idea of we are in a civilized world, this is a computer age. And in America, you don't touch a child like that, they'll call the police on trust Nigeria police. Okay. They'll be very quick to tell you, no, it's not like that. You must respect your parents and all that. So that is one of the factors. Okay. Though there are other factors. There are factors that we have this single motherhood and fatherhood. Yeah. It's also a contributing factor.
Broken homes.
A broken home. Now, if a child is coming from a broken home, that parental care, love will not be there. Of course, it's not easy for one person to train up a child.
Okay.
You need a father figure, you need a mother figure, and this person is not there. Definitely, it will affect the child's psychology, and that will metamorphose into an adult that will be antisocial,
okay,
or that will be maladjusted in society.
All right.
So that is another angle.
Okay, once again, it's the Guys Hangout Show, and tonight we're taking a look at the issue of the lack of parental discipline. What has gone wrong? What is the difference between the way it used to be and the way it is now? Now, Abu, in closing, I just wanted to give a word of advice to parents out there who are not living up to expectation in terms of disciplining their child. Those who think, letting their child get away with everything they do is a sign of love. What's your advice for them? In less than,
They shouldn't be just a father or a mother.
Okay.
They should be parents. And parenting is not an easy job.
Okay.
If you are capable of giving birth to a child, you should be able to take good care of that child. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to discipline your child.
Don't be scared to discipline your child. I guess that's the parting word for tonight. I want to say a big thank you to you, Abu, for taking out time.
Thank you, my brother.
Your time to be with us on the show today. And of course, to every one of you out there who have created time to be with us. I hope you've taken something away from tonight's discourse. Of course, the most important thing to take away from this is parenting is serious business. All right? So the moment you decide to become a parent, just have it in mind that the future of that child lies in your hands. If that child is going to grow up to become a responsible person, it's totally up to you. And of course, it's up to the adults that child is surrounded by. So another thing that Abu said in the course of his analysis is that parenting doesn't just end with you as a parent. You should also give the adults around your child the responsibility of raising your child, just like it was in the olden days. Don't have this mindset that you are the only one who has the responsibility of taking care of that child. My name is Harry Igboje, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, do ensure you do the right thing and stay out of trouble. Do have yourself a lovely night rest.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs. to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her, now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
And thank you for joining us today on the program, Healthy Living. I'm Adesu Walsawage, and today we're going to be talking to a family doctor who will have to intimate us on things that we should do this period. This is the Yuletide season, and a lot of things are bound to happen. People will travel to and fro, accidents will happen, the house will be crowded with visitors and every other person, and so home accident is also bound to happen. And when all of this happen, what are you supposed to do before you see a doctor? In the case of burns, you see people bringing salt, some palm oil, some shea butter, some water. Another one that they use is bicarbonate sodium, that is baking powder. You see it everywhere, people trying to use it on people who suffer burns, and people are bound to fall. Heart attack will happen. Poisoning will happen, and then even food poisoning can happen, all right, and people will get poisoned on alcohol and even PCM, all right. So when all of this happen, what are you supposed to do before the arrival of a doctor? This and many more we're going to be talking about today on the program Healthy Living. We'll take a short break for some commercials, and when we come back, we will be talking to our doctor. Stay tuned. All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. Like I said before, we're talking about tackling emergencies this Yuletide season. And I have with me Dr. Aide Mercy. She's a resident family physician, Department of Family Medicine, UBTH. Nice to have you join us, Dr. Mercy.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right, Dr. Mercy, we want to look at tackling emergencies this period. So let's start with children, because homes are full now, the holidays are here, and so many children at home, cousins, everybody trying to enjoy this Christmas. So let's take it from choking hazards, you know. Yeah. Let's see, how can we handle choking hazard? Because once a child is choking, people panic around that child, or people around will simply panic, because this period children want to put things in their mouth, they want to put things in their nose, you name it. So when a child is choking, before we get to the doctor, what should we do?
Okay, like they say, prevention is better than
cure. Okay.
Yes, so first of all, you should have age-appropriate toys. There are some toys that are not good for toddlers because they can easily put it in their mouth and then they start choking. Okay. So you should avoid any small objects, even nuts and popcorns, and they're not usually good for like smaller children because they can
popcorn,
popcorn, nuts, and smaller objects. They are usually not good for children because they can easily choke on it, and by the time they choke, everybody's in a panic, everywhere is frantic. So that's the first thing. Prevention is better than cure. Okay. Then when you see that like a child is choking, the first thing is for everyone to remain calm. you try to
that kind of environment.
I know, yes.
All these doctors, I like people too much. You just be calm. Just be calm.
Yes,
okay.
is to remain calm. Then you try to find out if the object is somewhere where you can reach. Then you try to take it out of their mouth. Otherwise, you would need to like elicit like a coughing reflex. You tap on their back. You know, like hit their back so that they can. That pressure would, you know, make them bring it out. But if you notice that is not working, they start turning blue and they are not breathing well, you have to actually go straight to the hospital that a maneuver can be done to try to remove it. So that's why I said prevention.
Prevention is okay. So in this instance, now prevention is key. We should prevent all of this and take everything that can choke a child. Toys that are not children friendly should be taken out of their reach. Okay. So another thing that can happen this period is there are things I've seen, there are things I've really observed is poisoning. Ingesting poisonous substance like it could be spirit, it could be anything that can poison that child, you know. Like you said, prevention is better than cure. But when it happens, what are people or what are parents supposed to do once a child ingests liquid that are not supposed to be ingested?
Okay, so it depends. Depends on the kind of liquid. You know, most times when it happens, the parents will want to maybe give them palm oil, give them kerosene. In fact, that worsens the situation.
Oh, so palm oil does not help?
It doesn't help because at the time you're trying to force the palm oil into their mouth, they can actually aspirate it, that it will go into their lungs. And so let's say even the product that they took may not even be as poisonous as the effect of the palm oil you've given. So the best thing is still to get to the hospital, let them identify what it is and now give the antidote. Because you may not be able to get the antidote easily available. We can use activated charcoal for some kind of poisons. However, it's better to locate the nearest hospital.
When you say activated charcoal, what are you talking about?
Activated charcoal is a type of substance that is used to deactivate certain kinds of poisonous substances. But it's not one cap that fits all. So you can't use activated charcoal for all the kinds of poisons. And so like I said, it's better you take them to the hospital so that they can ask the timing, the quantity, and when it was ingested. So we can now observe the child and do the necessary thing. Like I said, in the case of even poisoning, prevention is also better than cure because there are some kind of substances, maybe like the popular one that's sniper. It's very dangerous. So it's better not to allow them. Of course, children, they are always adventurous. But it's better to keep these things far away from their reach as much as possible. Even your pills too, they can also ingest pills. So it's better to take them out. But the best thing is to get to the hospital so that the substance is identified and the necessary antidote is given immediately. You
know, normally when things like this happen, the very first thing, bring palm oil, bring there's this other one, this black one, Ediagmo, palm kernel oil and all of that. That is the first thing people want to do. Oh yeah, press the neck, open your mouth, that kind of a thing. So a situation like that should not occur.
It should not be happening because the problem is when you are forcing them to take it, they would, you know, it will get into their lungs, and that is the problem. They can now spend so long in the hospital trying to treat the consequences of that. So I think the best thing is just to get to the hospital.
All right, you're hearing from Dr. Mercy. She's telling us a lot. Once things like that happen, don't panic. And palm oil is not the option. If you can't help that child, see as fast as you can, just try and take that child to the nearest hospital where help will come to the child. All right, doctor, let's not keep talking about children because I know that this is their period. This is when families will want to do Christmas decoration, plenty things, and so a lot of small items will just be flying and lying around. So prevention, doctor says, is best. Now let's look at adults. This period, we notice that there's usually a high rate of heart attack.
Yes, that's
this period. I don't know, is it a Christmas pressure or pressure of money to spend? I don't know, but before we see a doctor, what should people do?
Okay, so this period definitely, the spirits are high, everybody's excited, people have expectations, and of course there's pressure. So all of that, maybe anxiety, worrying, you know, all of that stress and, you know, put a lot of pressure on the heart. That's the truth. There's a mechanism for that. Stress affects a part of our nervous system that triggers the heart to start beating faster. So if the person already has underlying heart conditions, maybe the person already has hypertension, the heart is already weak, the person is at increased risk already if the person is having to battle with all of these things that are stressing the heart. So that's why we say overly charged environments, you know, are not good for a person that already has underlying heart issues. Then even your diet, maybe at this time is when people want to, you know, give themselves some form of enjoyment. Take this, take that, and all of those things are contributing.
Want to flex this period.
Yes, and even some want to indulge in alcohol. So all of these things would worsen the risk of having a heart attack. Yes, especially for those that already have an underlying heart condition.
So what should be done? You have told us not to panic in any situation. So what should we do? How can we have help somebody who is already having a heart attack?
Okay, so the first things, like I will always say, is the prevention. So your lifestyle, the things like avoid things that are stressful. Worrying really will not add to your, you know, it won't change the circumstance. So avoid being overly worried. Sleep deprivation also adds to it. You know, you're not sleeping well, you're worried. All of these things are putting pressure on your heart. Then avoid alcohol. That's the truth. Avoid alcohol, avoid binge drinking. Watch what you're eating. Eat more vegetable, fruits. So, but when the person already has developed so the things to look out for, if the person starts complaining of maybe chest pain, you know, it will usually come like that. They will have chest pain, they can have difficulty breathing. Some people may not even have chest pain, they may just have tightness in their chest, like a feeling like they can't breathe well, like they're suffocating. For some people, they'll start sweating profusely, they'll feel like there's an impending doom, like something bad is going to happen, or they feel like their heart is racing. So those are like little signs that are coming up. At that time, it's still better to go to the hospital.
Don't wait.
Don't wait, because you know how Nigerians are. They'll be like, I would overcome it. Let me just be waiting and
try to wish it away.
Exactly. At that time, when you're having those discomfort, go to the hospital. And if there's already an underlying condition, now is the time to go for your checks. Go and check your blood pressure, check your level of cholesterol. You know, there's this myth that people have that if you are slim, you're not chubby, that you don't have cholesterol, you don't have high cholesterol.
They play. That's how they call it on the street. Just they play.
So you can eat anything you like, but it's not true. Just go and check your cholesterol, and you'll be surprised that your cholesterol levels are high, because maybe there's a family disposition and you're just really eating anything. So go and actually check, so that they will now realize that okay, it's high, then they'll start giving you the medications for it. You know, they'll start giving the medications for it. And still, for a heart attack, it's still better to go to the hospital as soon as possible. If the person is already hypertensive, that's already a risk factor. Diabetes too is a risk factor. All of these things are risk factors. So in these times that everywhere is charged, you know, there's maybe one news coming up or the other, these are triggers. So avoid the triggers. When you now notice these symptoms that are outlined, you're feeling weak, you don't understand yourself, please go to the hospital and get yourself checked, so that they can, you know, identify if there's something going on and prevent it or treat it immediately to prevent it from getting worse.
Dr. Mercy, thank you so much for educating us. Now, let's say in a minute, can you just tell women out there what to do this period to save their mental health? Because I know, you know, at this period, some women are already charging. Never bring money for Christmas rice. Never bring money for Christmas things. They're already charging up. So please just talk to them in a minute how they can save themselves from mental stress.
Okay. Saving yourself from mental stress. Identifying, first of all, that health is wealth. The fact that you are alive already is something to be thankful for. And this season is all about thankfulness that you got to the end of the year. Be grateful for that, you know, and don't worry too much about all the things that you want to be able to do, you want to be able to achieve.
I want to build us on the Atlantic Sea this Christmas.
So all of those things, I think, you know, what is important should be, you should prioritize family time. You know, prioritize family time, spend time, quality time with your family. if your spouse is able to provide at least food on the table, to simple meals, the fact that you are bonding together, having family time is so much more. We know what's happening around the country now. We are like lucky not to have those violence and all of those things. So the fact that everybody is around, family time, just be happy and be thankful. And as you're thankful, by God's grace, next year things will get better.
Amen.
Things will get better.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Mercy, for finding time to be with us on the program Healthy Living. We shall do this again soon enough. All right, people, this is how to cope with some emergencies this Yuletide season. And the best medicine for this season is don't panic. Prevent anything that can give you stress. Prevent anything that can bring trouble your way that will make you to run to the hospital. If you do this, I think you'll be happier. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her, now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Oṣòdì aṣáájú ẹ̀ abẹ́rẹ́ tó pẹ́ ẹ̀. Àyàbá sọ́kè abẹ́rẹ́ tó pẹ́ ẹ̀. Àdàyè àtọ́jú abẹ́rẹ́ tó pẹ́ ẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ̀túwà.
ITV, certainly the best.
Every year, the people of Okoromi, a village near Benin City, the headquarters of Edo State, roll out their drums to celebrate Ugioswenware Nohun Tete. The festival is known for peace and progress and was established by Oba Eware I during his reign as Oba of Benin. The festival is also to remind the people of the end of the year and offering of sacrifice to the god of peace and harvest in the land. Okoromi is a peaceful community and the people are loving, caring and associated with progress over the years. Ugioswenware Nohun Tete celebration goes with masquerade to identify the festival with the ancestors. The masquerades will dance to confirm the acceptance of the gods.
ITV, certainly the best. This is ITV. Certainly the best.
The dream and desire of every leader is to ensure that his government is legitimate. Now, democracy has been defined by the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And if you take a look at Africa today, I think much of the African continent is ruled by democracies. But in recent time, we've seen a rise in the spate of coup d'etats across Africa, especially in West Africa, right here in West Africa. Just recently, we had the case of a coup d'etat in Benin Republic, and this has raised serious concerns. And of course, it has had a lot of persons, asking questions. Are we going back to the old ways? Is this Africa going back in time? Okay, I thought the era of coup d'etats were over, but that's basically what we're going to be discussing today on Flipside on Independent Television, reaching you live from the city of Benin. Now, for those that are just joining us for the first time, Flipside is a unique show that tends to, take a look at issues by, trying to strike a balance by looking at them from different angles. They say variety is the spice of life, so it's important to, put a flip to issues sometimes, especially issues that are rarely talked about in the society. It reaches you on this station every Wednesday. My name is Harry Aigboje. It's always a pleasure to have you join me on the show. Now today we are discussing something really, really interesting, something that has to do with the rise of military coups in Africa. A return to old times? Is it a return to old times? Are we going back in time, or are we moving towards more legitimate systems of government? And to do this with me is someone who is quite experienced and grounded in the area of politics and politicking. He goes by the name of William Sejai. Welcome on board, bro.
Thank you very much for having me today. And let me say Merry Christmas to our viewers. Merry Christmas in advance.
A Merry Christmas indeed.
Yes.
Christmas is just a few hours away.
Few hours. So please, everybody need to be very careful.
Please be careful.
Drive safely.
I tell you.
The rush hour, it cannot justify. Just
yesterday, I was scared on behalf of a lot of road users.
Exactly.
Because beyond the traffic, there was also this tension in the air.
Yes.
And it really beats me that people have to put themselves through so much pressure just because of the Christmas. I mean, Christmas is supposed to be a positive thing.
Yes.
And it's just a one-day affair. So why do I have to endanger my life or, go through so much stress just because I want to celebrate something that will just pass in one day? After tomorrow, it's over.
Yeah, well, let's say just one day we are back to working day.
Back to working day, right? And then the next excitement is the New Year celebration.
New Year celebration, yes.
Anyways, let's get right to the business of the day. The rise of military coups in Africa. Are we going back to old times, just like I said in opening?
Yes, in some region of the African country, especially the Sahel, they are gradually turning back to old times because of the colossal mismanagement, or let's say betrayal of trust and deprivation of the dividend of democracy.
So you're fundamentally attributing it to poor governance?
Yes, deprivation of dividend of democracy in that region is the result why you see these military uprising take over, successfully taking over. Remember, it was almost close to the western side, and it took the intervention of AU, and before they were able to return back to democracy, So the issue is that the people are gradually losing trust on democratic regime, democratic administration, governance, and then you see them jubilating whenever there's a military takeover. In fact, even in Benin Republic, they were even jubilating. You can imagine that people who are supposed to, when you get into that regime, there's no freedom of expression. That is the first thing.
So the very fact that people could rejoice
is for you to understand how they've lost so much trust, so much confidence on democratic
civilian
rule.
Wow.
Yeah, you can just call it democratic rule. So when you say civilian rule, you know there's no longer military commando in places of authority. All the institutions are being manned and handled by civilians.
Civilians, yeah.
So that I call it civilian rule.
Okay, now what historical factors do you think gave rise to the coups that have taken place across Africa in the past, not in recent time?
Yes, in the past, we were like, you know, when immediately those countries get back for hand of their colonial masters. We use the Sahel now. The colonial master is still France. Yeah. So when they broke out of French administrative rule, and then they discovered that their leaders were also sold out to the French government. Okay. You know, imperialism, neocolonialism. You say we are free, but why our resources are being taken down?
Still controlled. Still taken back to Europe.
Then you give us in name of say, I want to give you security, and then I will tell you that France had the major deposit of gold, reserve in the world. Yeah. But they don't have gold in France. Well, because of all this Sahel country, the Congo, Burkina Faso, and all that,
colonies in Africa.
Colonies, yes, you know, who have successfully broken out of. They've ripped them of these mineral resources, or in name of giving you aids, cheap aids. That are far even less than what they are getting from this country. So
that are you know, probably even derived from the resources.
Yes. So these people they get angry over time, and then you can imagine that even young military leaders. Yeah. So they just get angry, and then overnight they overthrow these leaders because they discover that the people are no longer benefiting their own resources. They are no longer benefiting from the dividend of democracy that you are portraying, that this Western world are selling to us.
Now we are speaking in historical terms now. Let's bring it down to recent times. There have been a spate of, coup d'etats in recent time. I think the most recent is the Benin Republic experience.
Yes.
So what do you think was responsible, or could have been responsible for that?
I know the world powers, they are trying to see how, especially China and Russia, they're trying to see how they also can also break into these African countries to share their own ideology. So they discovered that, okay, for them to get into these people, they need to break them out of the existing powers, like France and the US.
Yeah.
So they discovered that, okay, this part of the Sahel, they are very, they are, let's say, very so much anger. You know, they are easy to easy to use, because it's as if the hold over the military apparatus over there, or let's say the military, the armed forces entirely is not as the way it is in the West.
Okay.
You know, let's use for example comparison. Here in Nigeria, there was this allegation of a military takeover. But you saw the way they were able to coalesce, and they get all of them arrested. Yeah. So they discovered that hold is no longer.
Well, some persons have also, speculated that was probably a sham. That there was really nothing like.
But people are in detention. People are in detention. From what we heard and what we've seen over in the papers, people are in detention. Over 19 of them in detention. So they discovered that this part of the Sahel, the hold over this military is somehow weakened. So they just capitalize on that, and then they throw. The issue why is happening currently is also as a historical factor.
Okay, so it has a link.
Yes, link. It's like a progression. You know, imperialism and neocolonialism, they come to you, they no longer come in force now. Yeah. They come to you in very pitiable, very stylish and beautified manner.
So it's more like a Trojan horse.
Yes, you don't understand
Looks good on the surface, but
yes, but what they give you, for example, now let's compare, they give you, always going for grants and loans. They give you, let's say, $400 million, for example, and they are getting what is more than $400 million from you. You understand? So they empower these democratic leaders, brainwash them, tell them all this sort of, we are going to stable economy, give them, preach to them what they also cannot even offer, and that they get in return, you pay them with your military resources. Let's give you an example now. Libya, as a critical example, where it even got to a time that US was offering them policing. They pay for policing. You know, in Libya now we have two regimes in Libya.
In Libya, yeah.
So they pay for policing. Imagine since the destruction of democratic rule in Libya through Muammar Gaddafi up till now, they are paying for military, paying for policing. You can imagine those kind of thoughts. Are you trying to say these people cannot provide police for themselves, or are they not capable to give that self-actualization? Let's exist with our own ideology. Each country, each region, they all have their own ideologies. But the Western world don't want you to strive because they believe that the day you break out of their ideology, then you break out of, especially the IMF, the day you break out of those their economic principle, economic ideology, which is one of the powerful tools that they are using to bring down these third world countries, especially the African countries. We know that when you break out of this ideology, it is over for them because they really don't have these resources. It's located here in Africa. So they try their possible best to make sure that they are always in their control
of it.
So when there's any issue, a shaking of, okay, now let me give you this example. When it was happening in Burkina Faso, the young man went to align with Putin in Russia.
That's Ibrahim Traore.
Ibrahim Traore aligned with Putin in Russia and said, okay, don't worry, I'm going to provide everything you need. You have military might now, military hardware, military capability, technology and all that is being built and being customized for them by Russia. So that's back.
But don't you also think that Burkina Faso and countries like that are also like cronies to countries, superpowers like Russia and the rest of them? Don't you think Russia is using them as puppets to achieve their selfish objectives as well?
They use them. They also want to build military base in their country. But because they perceive that, okay, this person is selling something better than this other person, something attractive than this other person. But they don't want to liberate you for your own selfish, for your own gains. They want to liberate you per se for their own gains.
In other words, nothing goes for nothing.
Yes, but they present as if this is even more or less. I'm not interested in your resources. Just behave the way I want you to behave, and then probably when they need a base, these powerful countries, they're trying to expand their military influence, military prowess. So they're looking for countries that they can easily build base to also checkmate another. If, for example, let's take for example now, it's not happening in Nigeria. There's a US base in Nigeria. France will do whatever is possible to get a US base in Benin Republic, French base in Benin Republic, military base in Benin. So that's how they checkmating themselves. So when you see these people coming to present ideology to you, they are coming in two things: their military expansion, and they also to sell their economic ideology to you. So they get in control of your naira, they control of your currency. They want to be in control of your currency. So when you're coming to them to borrow money, they tell, okay, your currency is so I want to float it a little. I will give you. You are killing your economy just to make sure that they have that dominance.
And it doesn't always look that way on the surface.
No, you will not say it's until the damage is done.
All right, thank you so much, William. That was quite a lot. In case you're just joining us, it is Flipside on Independent Television, and we're discussing the rise in coup d'etats across the continent. We shall be going on this break now, and when we return, the program continues. Don't go nowhere. of the Constitution have anything to do with the rise of military coups in Africa?
Of course. You know, first of all, let me say, civilian rule is a democratic rule now.
Yes.
You have the Constitution, military rule, decree. So there's really anything that is written, they just decree, they say it. And
so nothing is on paper?
They enforce it. So they believe that why you see that the weakness of the Constitution leading to military takeover, because what is written is not what you are practicing.
Okay.
For example, especially the economic and the security aspects. You know, those are the major reasons why military takeover occurs.
Yeah.
Okay. Economic and security writings like decree or constitutional scenes, written statement, but so things, when they stop practicing it, we discover, okay, for example, you say somebody that steals so amount of money, embezzles so amount of money, will go 20 years in prison or life imprisonment, and then so you present such person in court, and then you are telling the person to pay so amount and bring so surety, and then this person is going scot-free. So these people are seated and looking at you and say, what is this people doing? What are these people doing? This is what the Constitution says, and this is what you are also doing. Why? Because these people, they've so much politicized our institutions. Institutions are now weak. So those are also the things that contribute to military takeover. Whatever these institutions are supposed to do, they're no longer doing it because they politicize everything. And mind you, these people, their children, their families, even also them, also they are subjected to this democratic rules, subjected to the day-to-day administrative or day-to-day activities of these institutions. So take for example, a military man is in a place to clear or tax clearance or pension clearance or whatsoever, and then you see that he's seen the irregularities there. And then you know that he has this stake, he has this say. Even when he's retired in the military, he has this say in the military. So probably they will be in communication and say, these people, they are not doing what is right. They get angry. They meet themselves in joints, meet themselves in hotel, meet themselves in eatery, meet themselves in relaxation centers.
Public places.
So they will discuss and they start talking and say, no, these people that are taking us for granted. Look at my family, look at what my son was saying, look at what this is saying, look at what my dad, look at what people are saying.
So in other words, it's often born out of the personal interest.
Yes, they get fed up with all these things, and then they look at the bulk of money being stolen by these leaders. And then the constitution cannot. They believe that when anybody is found wanting, the person should face justice. Whatsoever the military leader says, that is what they go and execute on the decree. That's what they will act on. So they believe that what the Constitution is saying, that is what people should be acting on. And you are not acting on the Constitution. So they get angry, and then you just wake up one morning, and then you wake up, you see your TV station that a young man is saying that first of all, they abolish the Constitution, say it is the Constitution thereby suspended all
till further notice,
all institutions, all parasitals, all PAMSEC, everybody disband, everything, you will go home. They shut down the legislative arm, everything is shut down. Even up to the legislature, everything, legislative arm, everything is shut down. And then they say, okay, they are now in military decree. That was whatever they say. And they start giving orders. They give orders, give the decree. You understand? So the issue why they use war is as just of the weakness of the Constitution and our institutions that contribute majorly to the rise of coups.
Now, you mentioned much earlier that most times when there is a coup d'etat, right, there is usually this excitement on the part of the people. The people are usually very excited. Now, in the long run, do you think the people benefit?
Yes, what they benefit is that everything that they are supposed to gain as citizens, they're supposed to benefit as citizens. They get it. But the only thing that you take from there, which is very, very important, which is the reason why the Western world, the reason why Africans, EU and ECOWAS, they are trying to refuse or go against military takeover, because they seize your freedom. Your freedom of expression that you get in the democratic rule, you don't get it in
more or less like fundamental human rights.
Yes, but there's also some democratic regime that we are seeing that they are even also gagging the press and also taking away the freedom of the people, freedom of expression.
So you're saying that there's really no much difference between some civilian regimes and...
There's not much difference. Take for example, if for example now I choose a military regime over a democratic regime, but the resources, everything is supposed to benefit, I benefit. But for me not to say this man is not doing well, you know, those insults that he gets. I probably won't say anything as far as what I'm getting. But the democratic regime that I'm supposed to express myself, I'm supposed to benefit, I'm not seeing the both. So you understand? So these people find themselves in between. And when they discover that, oh, if it is military is over and they know that, okay, there will be good roads, I will tell you boldly and categorically say it here clearly that most of the federal roads that we are enjoying were constructed during the military era in Nigeria.
Ironically.
Yes. They were constructed during the military regime in Nigeria.
What you're saying in essence is that the military regime is not necessarily as bad as some persons make it out to be.
It's not bad. But the only problem there is that that's the freedom that they take from you. And the instant judgment. You know, they are very scared. You don't try the person, you just take them to Shara court.
The rule of law doesn't hold sway in the military regime.
You said?
The rule of law doesn't hold sway.
Of course, no. You don't even get a fair hearing. Like you take you to the court, military court martial, and then when they find you guilty, they don't even give you for an appeal. You are straight condemned to death, or whatever it is that the if it is life imprisonment, you are gone. If it's death by hanging, you are gone. If it's death by firing squad, you are gone.
Okay, now, does insecurity or terrorism have a role to play in the rise of, military coups in Africa?
Of course. That's why I once mentioned the issue of security, economic issue, and the security. And now the major reason now is that foreign intervention, economic principles. Most of the economic policies that these African countries are using, this is not a blueprint of their own based economists.
Okay.
It's a blueprint of IMF. And those blueprints is not for you, your economy to prosper. Your economy to prosper for them.
But that's the primary purpose of IMF.
Yes.
The International Monetary Fund is parroted to be, a body that is poised to provide some sort of financial relief to countries.
But it's not. They just give it in the physical way, yes. But
on paper.
Yes, but the background have a serious damage because when you are going for loans, do you know how they float your naira? Do you know how they ask you there's a word I'm trying to economic word I'm trying to do
to
devalue your currency.
Okay.
Yes, devalue your currency. You know, there's some time my dad used to tell me that you see this 1 pound to one naira then was 1 naira was way bigger than 1 pound, but over the years, and then there were there's this ideology. Let me say this. What will I put this now? There's this trend. There's a video that was trending.
Okay.
There's a word I'm trying to use for it, but there's a video that was trending years back of one man in the Senate when they were doing this constitutional review. It was the business aspect, and then the man was telling us how they devalue our currency over the space of 40 years, continually. How do you come and say no? It's too high for you to take so amount of flow. They devalue and devalue that the naira is no longer be compared to the pounds. These things are very provocative. They are very provoking. They are there seated looking at you because you want to satisfy your own personal interests. You go borrow, you devalue our currency, you float the naira. They are there seated looking at you. So when this thing comes up, then let me now bring the security part of it. You say the Western world, they are offering security. Okay, so let's give you, we'll secure you. No rebel will raise their heads. No rebel will raise their ugly heads. Where you need to fight your border issue and those stuff. The aid I will give to you, military aid and those stuff. They are doing it not because they want to do. They are doing it because at the back end they are getting resources. Understand? So take for example, you remember how the rebels were troubling this Sahel. Most of those rebels were sponsored by the Western
powers. Okay.
Western powers to also destabilize. So they come set a security ideology for you. They say, okay, for us to take over all this drive these people away, or probably just reduce or get them killed, or just arrest them or eliminate them, or whatever it is. You pay so amount of money, or you bring so a barrel of oil. If an oil-rich country brings so barrel of oil over the years, or brings so amount of gold over the on the long term over the years. So these things, they see these things, and they get angry. And they know that these things have been sponsored, these uprisings have been sponsored by this same Western world. So they wake up one morning and then they take over power. The citizens are happy. Why are they happy? Because they know that they are going to fix these issues, a lot of these issues. Okay. You take away, they sacrifice the freedom, but they know they are going to fix the different institutions, major problems.
All right. Thank you so much, Williams. In case you're just joining us, it is Flipside on Independent Television. We shall be going on another break now. The program continues afterwards. Please stay tuned.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
The new Edion expressed excitement as they danced and rejoiced before the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawori Benedion, who also joined in the dance. As visiting and paying of homage to various homes of senior elders continued, the initiates spent 7 days performing diverse kinds of rites as required by tradition. They were furnished with rules and regulations regarding their new office as Edion.
That I grew up in this community to the point that they have now also chosen me as an elder in this community. It's a thing of great joy. All thanks to the Esama of Benin, my people, my family, everybody, all Okada community for this great honor. I am very, very grateful.
Well, this is my brother. I'll call him my uncle because he grew up with my father. I'm so proud of him because we are doing the same rituals as the Edions of the Okada. It is our duty for us to make this place a greater place, for outsiders to come and see the goodness of God in Okada. And I'm proud of every one of us here. So shall it be to each and every one of us in Jesus' name.
Odion ma Okada zima Esama zima dion Bona zima dion Obana zima dion Manawe Mari Esama dion ni mado pon Esama ni mado gbeken Esama e ma dio wa na Esama magbeken ne osabo obuyo bitu ne baba no get on maga no dia mi maga mani do gbeken ne de na ima yafe ima ato ima agbon oro pa ewu dori ima dia wo re ne o be ti agbon ya no we mi maga me ni just to know me afa
in Esama, in our father's house, in respect of our initiation to elders Edion level. As tradition demands, we are here today to come and also pay our homage to him, for him to also pray for us for long life and prosperity.
The climax after 7 days was paying of homage again to the Edion way, where he gave the initiate the full rights to function and to henceforth participate in meetings with Edion. It will go down in the history and minds of Okada community, Ovia people, Edo State, and Nigeria in general. The ambience, style, and the colorful ceremony associated with the 2025 initiation into the Edion Council of former Governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosagari Benedion, his brothers Bright Ayamekwe Benedion, Honorable Charles Osenwige Benedion, Peter Osawori Benedion, Dr. Fred Osawuni Benedion, Barrister Mike Osane Benedion, Executive Director Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Gwede Onwunse, Honorable Efosa Douglas Igbenedion, Ukponwa Igbenedion, Osawe Igbenedion, Edosa Igbenedion, Dr. Daniel Omarege Igbenedion, as well as Agbong Steve Igbenedion, among other sons of Okada.
Yes, it's still Flipside on independent television, and we're discussing the rise of coup d'etats in Africa. Is it a return to old habits? Now, I'd like to ask you this question, Williams. What role do foreign powers play, directly or indirectly, in the rise of coups in Africa? Do they sit back and just watch, or do they even support, such coups, such moves?
The word direct or indirectly is two-way thing, or they go hand in hand concurrently. You can say direct, you can say indirect. Well, the two major ideology in the world is capitalism and communism.
Yeah, communism.
So, the West and then the North, and the Asian world.
Yes.
Russia communism, US capitalism, and then, Russia believe that the means of production should be in the hands of the citizens, and why they control the government's regulator and control. So they look at these other countries and discover that these people, they are suffering. They are supposed to be the one in control of their resources. Yeah. So they look at, okay, how do they break them out of this other capitalism
this ideology.
Yeah. So they go to any leader who they know how to scout any of the military young minds or advanced mind who is interested in doing that. So they penetrate that person and then empower the person. Then okay, when you are done, we'll come over and then announce, flag you out of.
So would you consider that a direct involvement or indirect?
Indirect. Okay. So I'm coming to the direct.
Okay.
So when these coups they succeed in taking over power, they announce, and then you relax and observe the bubble movement of that particular military leader. You discover that any country that is first aligned with, that country was involved in indirectly sponsoring the coup or supporting the coup. Okay. So when they now come directly now and say, okay, they tell the other superpower that we are interested in this government. We support this government. So anything they need, we provide for you to succeed. Okay. They tell other organizations, say, back at, we are in this. So this is a powerful country. For example, Russia is telling America, telling France to back out of Burkina Faso directly, and then he is saying it. Brent Reid is saying it. That he is in alignment with Putin. You understand? There was a time he had meeting with Putin.
Yes.
And then a few months later, he started building military hardware. Technology started flying around. So that's to tell you that they already striving on the ideology of Russia. You understand? So this a powerful nation play the very vital role in country military overthrowing in each of these takeover of this country. Now let's go back to the international world. What is happening? You saw the issue between Russia and Ukraine, how the European countries, what the role they played. So in retaliation now they are trying to break out France. They discover, okay, let's dismantle this France dominance over these northern African countries, the Sahel. Yes. Let's dismantle it. And Russia is the one like backing them, following them, telling them that you people can be self-actualized, can break out of this dominance of this French government, and they are doing it. And France, they are getting angry. Now there's this ideology, this thesis that is flying around. This saying that is flying that immediately Benin Republic, the coup wanted to take place in Benin Republic. Why did EU using Nigeria to swiftly cure the issue? And then people are now saying, okay, can you link the relationship between the president and Emmanuel Macron? Because he was almost losing Benin Republic.
Okay.
And I said, okay, can you just help me try to restore? And when I heard that, and then, you know, one of my friends, I also editing one of these big commentators, and I was thinking about it. I said, yeah, this could be true. The sudden relationship between France and Nigeria, you understand me? So I think this, because it was very sweet. Yes, I remember. Why we're having this issue of bandits invading kidnapping of school children in Niger. Yeah. It was almost the same period it didn't happen. Why the swift response to Benin Republic? Why not that swift response to our own internal issues? So you see the issue of international power play that, okay, please help me, because they don't want to be involved directly. You understand? So they're not, okay, help me do that. You know, in politics we call it dirty job.
Okay.
The section of that is do this dirty job for me, just take over, clean up the mess, and do this, make sure that a democratic regime is restored. And they did it perfectly. I was surprised. Why can't you handle this? I will have some internal issues. Yes. You can't handle it this way.
So it's more like
fighter jets trooping in Benin Republic.
So it's more like, you know, our benevolence is only finds expression outside and not home.
Exactly. We have that power, but why can't you just treat the ones that's happening in then as other people? A lot of people,
charity begins at home.
Yes, a lot of people are not saying, okay, is it complacent? Are you? Is there any relationship between what is happening and the government of the day? We are so surprised. So that's to tell you how international power and international countries, superpowers, the role they play in military regime, military takeover in countries.
Okay, now let's look at the role, or should I say, how regional bodies like the AU, for instance, and of course ECOWAS and some other regional bodies respond to situations of coups. Let's say the one that happened in Benin, for example. How did the AU or how did ECOWAS respond to it?
They responded to it swiftly.
Do you think it was a decisive step? Do you think it was effective enough?
Yes, I was talking to Osaro. He was supposed to be here today. We just had some little busy schedule.
Yeah.
We were discussing, and I said, okay, it was almost happening in Benin Republic. He said, that one should not happen. I said, why? He said, he don't want any military
interference
in our borders. Why?
Okay.
I said, why? I said, because this issue of crossing of borders, and that I will have more security issue to deal with.
Okay.
I looked at it from that aspect. I said, okay, fine, there is some sense over it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God that it was handled, because a lot of deviants for good and the bad will just troop into your country, because while some are celebrating, some are also in great fear. So they will start trooping to the nearest country available, just to make sure that they don't be part of the kind of loss of freedom and personal expression and all that. So they can also, those deviants can also use the opportunity to start spreading to countries. Say, just say, please, it's happening. I don't want to be part of it. So can I come and take asylum or somebody seek refuge in your country? Yeah, and then being vulnerable, you don't even know who the person is and the ground, and they start linking up with themselves, and the thing becomes so more difficult for us to handle than the way it is now. So I saw a good reason with that.
Okay.
But they were so swift to handle it, and if you look at these ECOWAS countries, they have one peculiar issue together. They have issue of security in their countries, and they have issue of economic issues. They can't fix it, but they come together so swift to fix their own problems, brother nations' problems, and you can't fix your own internal problems. Is a major issue. That's to tell you how the international body, the superpowers, controlling most of these African leaders, and it's very, very appalling and becoming so demeaning to see that. Take for example Cameroon.
Okay.
Sometimes I sit down to wonder how I've forgotten his name and how he is able to take control. Paul Biya, how he be able to take control over the military personnel in Cameroon. He's been there for years. The economic issues, nothing to write home about. Security, nothing to write home about. But there seems not to be any uprising, any military
So for some funny reason, he has been able to keep the system under control.
Let's look at it closely. The men who are there, who are the military generals are also very advanced and old like him. So they all grew together. They meet together.
So they share similar ideologies.
Similar ideologies. So it will be very difficult for such things to happen.
Interesting. Now a quick one: are sanctions effective in deterring military coups?
It's not becoming effective. So it has never been effective. This same
that's what emboldens some of these coup plotters.
Yes. You know why sanctions in Africa? Let's say in Africa, because we are doing in Africa. Do you know why sanctions will be very difficult in Africa? Is it economic sanctions or whatsoever? Is it security sanctions that are going to impose on them? Why is it very difficult?
Life threats, death threats or something.
It's not working. Why it's not working is because
threats of imprisonment.
Why it's not working? I'll give you a reason why it's not working. It's not working because they also are very rich in military resources. They can choose to align with other countries. Just like what Ibrahim Traore said when they were trying to threaten me, say, you can go, ECOWAS can go, AU can go.
They don't need them.
He said EU can go, we don't need AU. He said it boldly, it can go. What he said to them, what are you going to, what are we offered? When these people are mismanaging our resources, what did you say? He didn't say anything. He said it, we said it to them.
So if we didn't need you then, we don't need you now.
We don't need you now. When there's this summit, you see their chairs are very, very empty. They don't go. So actually, they don't need because they are aligned in other super countries. And their resources, they said resources to them.
Okay.
So what are you now going to do? What economic sanctions are you now going to give them? So what security sanctions are you now going to give them?
So you're more or less irrelevant to them.
It's irrelevant to them. So sanctions has never worked, and I don't think it can work.
Well, in case you're just joining us, it's still Flipside on Independent Television, and it's time for one more break. And when we return, it will be time to wrap things up. Please stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back, beautiful people. This right here is the final lap of Flipside today. Now, Williams, most times when military personnel take over a government, they promise a temporal control, right? They do not tell you that they are here to stay. They just tell you that, well, they noticed some, discrepancies and irregularities within the system, and they are here to fix it, right? So the impression is that it's a temporary affair. But in the long run, it's discovered that it's a different ballgame entirely. Why is it so?
You know, the word power corrupts.
And absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Corrupt, absolutely. Power, democratic, but is difficult. Will I say it's few countries that democratic get absolute power. But in militarism, it is absolute power. And it's corrupt absolutely. Why is it absolute power? It's the only one in charge. He's the one to tell you, go to that state, go and be military administrator, go to so state, be military coordinator.
And it's not based on the constitution.
Yes, you be finance this, you be petroleum coordinator and all stuff. It's not based on the constitution. Anybody chooses to be. So he's the one that is in charge. So he has absolute power. So it corrupts absolutely. So who are just the person that tastes power and says he wants to give you in 2 or 3 months' time. It's very difficult. That is when the personality of the person comes in. What was your intention in the first place?
From the get-go.
Of seizing power.
Okay.
That is very true.
What was your motive?
What was the motive? What was the intention? So the only person in the history of our coup was Ibrahim. Was the man's
Babangida?
No, not Babangida. Abdusalam Ibrahim.
Abdusalam Abubakar.
So he's the only one that stick to his word. That's okay. I'm going to restore power to democracy, and he did it. He didn't waste time.
So I guess it's safe to say that he was the only one that wasn't corrupted.
By power. That was the military regime produced the first civilian regime.
Yes.
About Obasanjo, 1999.
1999.
So it is very difficult to see these people who just come and say, okay, in space of 3 months or 6 months, who fix the country, and then let's return back to them. No, it's very difficult. Absolute power is very, very corrupt them, absolutely. But the people, in the other hand, are they comfortable? Because they are the ones that will also determine if this regime will change immediately or not. Now, take, for example, Putin, for example. If you go and study the rising of Putin, started so well that he's a military personnel. Military general.
Of course.
His uprising started so very smartly. Became personal advisor, security advisor.
So it was strategic.
Created his own military movement. Started using it to take dominance over the arm of affair in Russia, and then he became the president.
The president, yeah.
But his military form, stylish. He's been there for years.
So he's been within the ranks.
Yes, he's been there for years. But people are very comfortable with this. Why? Because he doesn't make you feel, give you the reason why to go against
him. So it gives you a sense of belonging.
Yes, so it gives you a sense of belonging. And over time, he has built his credibility. Whatever is presented to them, if it's a form of integrity and whatever it is, he has built it over time. Because there was there I studied his ranks and how he became so powerful. So I saw it, and it's very difficult to break such a person out of power because of how he has so much been in corridors of power for a very long time.
Okay.
And you understand? So now, here in Africa, what is it that you have done? What is it they are going to do that will not make the people to start agitating?
Do you have the charisma? Do you have
yes, do you have what it is? If you are doing what it is, they will never mind. It can ruin for years. If you are doing what it's supposed to do, whatever you preach that you want to do. You know,
could that also be the reason why Gaddafi ruled for
exactly? I was coming there. You know, he was doing so well that people didn't have any
mind that he had been there for a long time.
Yes, but also America needed something to happen.
Okay.
So they actually now exploit just one issue that has been with him.
Okay.
Using his family to run the affairs of government. That he said he only trusts his family. His children and everybody relative to the one running the government. That was the weakness that America exposed to the rebels that were created, and then that was how they were able to train up.
All right, because of time, because we're actually pressed for time right now. Do you think constitutional reviews could limit the tendency of military takeovers in less than a minute?
Yes, it will. You know why? You strengthen the various institutions, democratic institutions, and then let it live up to expectation. Whatever it is that institution is supposed to do, let them do it to the latter. If it is the police, whatever it is, the judicial system, the legislative arm, pass these laws and they let it work. And then constitutional review, let everything that is supposed, what the constitution says per se, they let it be effective. Let it go run freely as it says, and then there will not be need for coup d'etat.
All right, thank you so very much, William Sediai, for your very brilliant analysis. It's been quite an interesting moment with you. We've been taking a look at the rise of military coups in Africa, a return to old habits. And Williams has said in the opening that it's actually looking like a return to old habits. And the question is, for how long are we going to continue like this? What does the future hold for African nations or for Africa as a continent? Because, I mean, if it happened in Benin Republic, only God knows where next. So the question is, what are we going to do about it? Are we just going to fold our arms and let this trend continue? Well, it's been such an amazing show so far, and a very big thank you to Williams once again for doing me the honor of being on the show with me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. And once again, my name is Harry Aigbo J. And until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, do the right thing, stay out of trouble, and bye for now.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin Aqua Seed. Ayo or Aqua Game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua Game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
The Ekoko masquerades from Ute village, whose cult is connected with Obaeware and his mother, Elere, appear on this occasion to bless the Oba. Ekoko is a ritual masquerade that dances to please the guests and the Oba.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
It's definitely a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining us on this week's edition of the program Business 360. So without much ado, we're just going to delve right into it, and we're starting with updates in the Nigerian stock market, and we're giving you updates of the week that ended 14th November 2025, and it ended in a very negative territory, losing about 2,511.22 points to finish at 147,113.59, despite strong gains on stocks like NCR Nigeria and ASO Savings and Loans. By the way, my name is Daisy Leo Asikidi, and welcome. So we'll continue from there. This was tracked by Nigerian All Share Index. The market hard opened at 149,524.81, but a wave of panic selling earlier in the week actually erased about 4.6 trillion naira in value. Now, the downturn lingered despite strong rebound the next day when the market gained about 2.6 trillion naira following assurances from the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun. His intervention likely eased concerns around capital gain tax and even helped soften the weekly decline, though the market still ended in the red. Activity, however, remained strong. Investors traded 7.32 billion shares worth 156.42 billion naira across 383 deals, and that's compared to the 3.57 billion shares, at least, that was valued at 107.01 billion naira the previous week. This reflects the overall sentiment. Market capitalization fell to 93.501 trillion naira from 94.99 trillion naira in the week earlier. Well, market breadth showed some improvement for the 8 equities appreciated, and that's up from the 20 that were reported the previous week, and 45 equities declined. A notable drop from 75 previously, but 53 equities closed unchanged. Okay, so overall, the market ended the week under pressure, but showed resilience beneath the volatility. And now for the market overview. The Nigerian All-Share Index opened the week in the red, losing 0.46%. However, the bearish momentum intensified on Tuesday following a panic sell-off, dragging the index down by over 7,500 points to 141,327.3. A rebound began on Wednesday, likely driven by the finance minister's reassurance on capital gains tax. The index rose 2.88%. It continued to gain through the remaining 2 trading days, and eventually it closed on Friday at 147,115.6. This is the key highlight. The NGX Premium Index fell 2.74%, weighed down by a 10% drop in Dangote Cement, 2.06% in Fexed Oat Co., 1.83% in Seplat, and 0.42% in MTN. NGX 30 Index shed 1.73%, while the NGX Main Board Index declined by 1%. And this is the sectoral performance. I'll break it down. The Industrial Goods Index was the worst hit, dropping 6.97%, following a 10% decline in Dangote Cement and a 6.67% fall in Boa Cement. Mid-caps also weakened, with Austin Lars down 18.62%, Triple G falling 9.98%, and Better Glass sliding 6.02%. The next sector will be the NGX Oil and Gas Index. It slipped 0.85% as Seplat fell 1.83%. On the positive side, the NGX Insurance Index gained 2.42%, supported by over 9% increases in Cornerstone Insurance, Guinea Insurance, and International Energy Insurance. The NGX Banking Index also closed higher, up 1.26%, while the Consumer Goods Index posted a modest 0.46% gain. Here are the top gainers. Leading the pack was NCR Nigeria PLC. It soared 32.30% week to date, marking a standard performance and closing at 25 naira 60 kobo, followed by ASO Savings Loans PLC with a 14.44% gain. It ended the week at 1 naira. There were other major gainers like Champion Breweries PLC that went up 11.54% to 14 naira 50 kobo, International Energy Insurance PLC up 11.48% to 2 naira 72 kobo, Secure Electronic Technology PLC up 10.67% to 83 kobo, Cornerstone Insurance PLC up 10.51% to 6 naira 10 kobo, Japol Gold and Venture PLC also went up 9.57% to 2 naira 29 kobo. Guinea Insurance PLC up 9.57% to 1 naira 26 kobo. FTN Cocoa Processors PLC up 9.38% to 5 naira 25 kobo. Legend Internet PLC up 9.13% to 5 naira 74 kobo. But on the flip side, Union Decorn Salt PLC led the laggards, shedding 18.71% week to date to close at 6 naira 30 kobo. Austin Lars and Company PLC followed with an 18.62% decline, finishing the week at 2 naira 36 kobo. There were other notable decliners like Multiverse Mining and Exploration PLC that went down 14.43% to 10 naira. Dangote Cement PLC also went down 10% to 594 naira. Academic Press PLC down 10% to 6 naira 75 kobo. Transco Power PLC down 10% to 307 naira 80 kobo. Triple G Company PLC down 9.98% to 4 naira 42 kobo. Associated Bus Company PLC down 9.91% to 3 naira 82 kobo. There's also Red Star Express PLC down 9.80% to 9 naira 20 kobo. Abbey Mortgage Bank PLC also went down 9.72% to 6 naira 50 kobo. For the corporate actions that ended in the week under review, the week under review featured several notable corporate disclosures and sector-wide developments. PZ Custom proposed 98 million naira in directors' remuneration ahead of its AGM. Zenith Bank staff Provident Fund purchased 2.3 billion naira worth of bank shares. Presco opened 236.67 billion naira rights issue to fund expansion and acquisitions. Mofi listed its 1 trillion naira Series 2 MREIF on the NGX. Fidelity Bank released its first half 2025 results, reporting 180.5 billion naira in pre-tax profits. Corn Oil declared a 3 naira 50 kobo final dividend for shareholders. FCMB announced plans to raise its capital ceiling to 370 billion naira ahead of a crucial EGM. Although the market closed in the red for the week ended 14th November, the all-share index appears to be positioning for a recovery towards the 150,000 mark, from which it previously slipped. A full return to bullish momentum in large cap stocks, which came under pressure the previous week, could likely drive the index higher in the sessions ahead. Although the market closed in the red for the week ended 14th November, the all-share index appears to be positioning for a recovery towards the 150,000 mark, from which it previously slipped. So a full return of bullish momentum in large cap stocks, which came under pressure the previous week, could likely drive the index higher in the sessions ahead. So we're going to go on a break on that note, and when we return, we'll talk some more. This one, we're focusing on professionals who want to leave Nigeria and they're eyeing the Europe job market. We'll be back. For many professionals eyeing the Europe job market, 2026 could be the year to make the move without breaking the bank. While several European countries have recently increased visa application fee, a few European Union nations still offer affordable pathways that will make it easier for skilled workers, remote professionals, and digital nomads to live and work legally across the continent. So according to a 2023 Gallup survey, 51% of Nigerians want to migrate, placing the country among the top 10 globally for migration intent. Migration to Europe and the United States has grown steadily over the past decade. With Europe's rising demand for skilled labor and lower-cost visa programs, the European Union is becoming an increasingly attractive destination. Currently, more than 260,000 Nigerians live in the EU. So here is a breakdown of Europe's cheapest work visas for 2026, including details on fees and the validity period. I know you thank me for it. I'll be back. On number 9 is Finland, with visa fee €490 and validity of 1 to 2 years. Finland's specialist permit caters to experts in software, data science, and research. While it comes with a higher fee, the fast processing time and innovative work culture makes it attractive for high-skill applicants. And number 8 is the Netherlands, with a visa fee of €404, validity up to 5 years. The highly skilled migrant visa offers up to 5 years of residence and a fast track to permanent status. The Netherlands is widely known as one of the most English-friendly EU countries, especially for professionals in tech and engineering. Our number 7 is France. France's talent passport allows long-term residence of up to 4 years. Though the cost is high, it's a strategic option for experts in tech, finance, and creative industries who want to build a base in Western Europe. Visa fee is €324. And on number 6 is Sweden, with a visa fee of €182 and a visa validity of 2 years. Sweden's general work permit is valid for up to 2 years and suits professionals in IT, R&D, and engineering. It's ideal for those seeking progressive work policies and a high standard of living. On number 5 is Austria. Austria's visa fee is €160 and a validity of 24 months. Austria's red card allows skilled professionals, especially in engineering and healthcare, to live and work for 2 years. Applicants benefit from clear application procedures and strong integration support. On number 4 is Poland. Poland's D-type visa offers an easy entry route for job seekers in agriculture, tourism, and IT. It's regarded as a low-cost option for first-time migrants aiming to gain EU work experience. The visa fee is €135 and the validity is for 1 year. Luxembourg offers one of the longest lasting work visas in Europe with validity of up to 8 years. It suits professionals in tech, finance, and healthcare seeking both stability and high salaries in a small but yet dynamic economy. The visa application fee is €80 and its validity is up to 96 months. On number 2 is Spain. Spain's visa fee is $80 and the validity of the permit is 1 year. The Spain's digital nomad visa is tailored for remote workers and tech professionals. It grants legal residence and work rights for just 1 year, offering the chance to experience Spain's Mediterranean lifestyle at a low visa cost. And top on our list today is Germany. Germany remains one of the most affordable EU destinations to begin a professional career. The skilled workers visa and EU blue card are valid for 1 year and can be renewed. There is currently a high demand for engineers, healthcare workers, and IT specialists across Germany. The visa application fee is €75 and its validity is 1 year, although it's extendable. And that's how we're going to conclude Business 360 today. I'm sure you had a swell time with us. Next week is another time. Till then, keep watching ITV. I'm Daisy Leah Sikidi. Bye for now.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Oṣòdì aṣáájú ẹ̀ abẹ́rẹ́ tó pẹ́ ẹ̀.
ITV, certainly the best.